The game, Ohio State versus Michigan. A rivalry that defines college football, where every single play is scrutinized, every call debated, and every point feels like it could be the difference between a season of glory and a year of regret. This year was no different, and in the second quarter, we got a play that will be talked about for a long, long time. Let's set the scene. It's 4th and 5. The Buckeyes are trailing 6-3. This is a massive moment in the game. Instead of kicking a field goal to tie it, Ohio State decides to go for it. Quarterback Julian Sayin drops back, scans the field, and launches a deep ball down the sideline towards his star freshman receiver, Jeremiah Smith. The pass is right on the money. Smith tracks it, gets his hands on it right at the goal line, and tumbles into the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State! The crowd goes wild, and the Buckeyes take a 10-6 lead. But hold on, not so fast. As with any massive play in a game of this magnitude, the replay officials are going to take a long, hard look. And when they did, the controversy began. As Smith was crossing the goal line, the ball wasn't perfectly secure. You can see it on the replay. He bobbles it. He's juggling the football as he's going to the ground and stepping out of bounds in the end zone. The question becomes, did he ever truly have control of the football before he went out of bounds? This is where the rules of football get really, really tricky. To complete a catch, a player needs control of the ball 2 feet or another body part down in bounds. And then they have to make a football move or maintain control long enough to establish themselves as a runner. When you're going to the ground, the rule is even more stringent. You have to maintain control of the ball all the way through the process of hitting the ground. If the ball comes loose or you lose control at any point while falling, it's an incomplete pass. Now let's bring in the experts. Mike Pereira, the rules analyst for Fox, was on the broadcast and he was pretty clear in his opinion. He believed that Smith never fully secured the football before going out of bounds. Because the ball was loose as he crossed the pylon and went out, Pereira argued it should have been ruled a touchback. A touchback. That means the touchdown comes off the board. Ohio State gets 0 points, and the ball goes over to Michigan at their own 20-yard line. That is a monumental, game-altering swing. Instead of a 10-6 Ohio State lead, it would be Michigan ball, with them still leading 6-3. The play-by-play announcer, Joel Klatt, who was calling the game alongside Gus Johnson, agreed with Pereira. He watched the replay multiple times and came to the same conclusion. It didn't look like a completed catch. The evidence seemed to be mounting against the call on the field. And it wasn't just the guys on TV. Josh Pate, a well-known college football analyst, mentioned on his show that he was getting texts from actual college football officials, people who know the rulebook inside and out. And what were they saying? They sided with Pereira. They also believed it should have been a touchback. When you have multiple experts, including current officials, all saying the same thing, it makes you seriously question the final decision. So let's break down the video one more time. When I watch it, my eyes go directly to the ball. Smith makes a great effort to get to it, no doubt. But as his feet are hitting the turf near the goal line, the ball is clearly moving in his hands. It's not pinned against his body. It's not secured. He's trying to corral it as he falls. By the time he's out of bounds, you could argue he finally has it, but did he have it in bounds? The rule about surviving the ground is key here. Did he maintain possession throughout the entire process of falling down and landing out of bounds? To me, it just doesn't look like it. The ball is bobbled, juggled, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't clean. And in a game of this importance, not clean should mean not a catch. If that's the case, then Michigan got robbed. Plain and simple. A touchdown was awarded that shouldn't have been. That's a 7-point swing that Ohio State got, plus the momentum that comes with a big-time 4th down conversion for a touchdown. It changed the entire complexion of the first half. However, we have to acknowledge the other side. The officials on the field called it a touchdown. The replay official reviewed it and decided there was enough indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field. That's the standard. It's a high bar. They have to be 100% certain the call was wrong to change it. Maybe they felt there was a split second where he had control and a foot down. Maybe the angles they had weren't as clear as what we saw on television. It's hard to say for sure what they saw or what their reasoning was. But it's also worth noting that the officiating in this game had been, let's say, inconsistent up to that point. There were questionable calls and no calls that went against both teams. Fans on both sides were already frustrated with the refs. So when a massive, game-changing play like this happens and the ruling seems to go against what most experts and fans are seeing, it just adds fuel to the fire. It reinforces the idea that the officiating was a major, and perhaps negative, factor in the game's outcome. In the end, the ruling on the field stood. Touchdown, Ohio State. The points went on the board and stayed there. It doesn't matter what Mike Pereira, Joel Klatt, or a bunch of texting officials think. It doesn't matter what I think or what you think. The call was made and the game moved on. But these are the moments that fans never forget. If you're an Ohio State fan, you might say it was a great play by a great player, and the call was right, or at least close enough to stand. If you're a Michigan fan, you're probably still screaming at your screen, absolutely convinced you were cheated out of a turnover and that the 7 points should have never happened. This is what makes this rivalry so great. Every single moment is packed with passion and controversy. This play will now be added to the long list of what-ifs and debated for years to come, another chapter in the epic history of the game. But I have to ask, what do you think? After seeing the replays and hearing the arguments, do you think it was a touchdown? Was it a brilliant catch under pressure, or did Jeremiah Smith lose control, making it a touchback for Michigan? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm really curious to see where everyone lands on this one. Was it a catch or not? Let's debate it. Thanks for watching, and if you love deep dives into college football controversies like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next video.